AK.inc class on paper money. The first use of paper money occurred in China more than 1000 years ago. By the late 18th and early 19th centuries, paper money and banknotes had spread to other parts of the world. The bulk of the money in use came to consist not of actual gold or silver but of fiduciary money, promises to pay specified amounts of gold and silver. These promises were initially issued by individuals or companies as banknotes or as the transferable book entries that came to be called deposits. Although deposits and banknotes began as claims to gold or silver on deposit at a bank or with a merchant, this later changed. Knowing that everyone would not claim his or her balance at once, the banker or merchant could issue more claims to the gold and silver than the amount held in safekeeping. Bankers could then invest the difference or lend it at interest. In periods of distress, however, when borrowers did not repay their loans or in case of overissue, the banks could fail. Gradually, they replaced fiduciary paper money, promises to pay in gold or silver, with fiat paper money, that is, notes that are issued on the fiat of the sovereign government, are specified to be so many dollars, pounds, or yen, etc., and are legal tender but are not promises to pay something else. The first large-scale issue of paper money in a Western country occurred in France in the early 18th century. Similarly, the American colonies and later the early experiments gave fiat money a deservedly bad name. The money was overissued. Subsequent issues of fiat money in the major countries during the 19th century were temporary departures from a metallic standard. In Great Britain, for example, the government suspended payment of gold for all outstanding banknotes during the Napoleonic Wars, 1797-1815. To finance the war, the government issued fiat paper money. Prices in Great Britain doubled as a result, and gold coin and bullion became more expensive in terms of paper. To restore the gold standard at the former gold price, the government deflated the price level by reducing the quantity of money. In 1821, Great Britain restored the gold standard. Similarly, during the American Civil War, the US government suspended convertibility of Union currency, greenbacks, into specie, gold or silver coin, and resumption did not occur until 1879, see specie payment. At its peak in 1864, the greenback price of gold, nominally equivalent to $100, reached more than $250. Episodes of this kind, which were repeated in many countries, convinced the public that war brings inflation and that the aftermath of war brings deflation and depression. This sequence is not inevitable. It reflected 19th century experience under metallic money standards. Typically, wars required increased government spending and budget deficits. Governments suspended the metallic, gold, standard and financed their deficits by borrowing and printing paper money. Prices rose. The price of gold would be far above its pre-war value when wartime spending and inflation ended. To restore the metallic standard to the pre-war price of gold in paper money, prices quoted in paper money had to fall. The alternative was to accept the increased price of gold in paper money by devaluing the currency, that is, reducing money's purchasing power. After World War I, the British and the United States governments forced prices to fall, but many other countries devalued their currencies against gold. Since the cost of producing paper money is far lower than its exchange value, forgery is common. It cost about 4 cents to produce one piece of US paper currency in 1999. Later, the development of copying machines necessitated changes in paper and the use of metallic strips and other devices to make forgery more difficult. In addition, the use of machines to identify, count or change currency increased the need for tests to identify genuine currency.